Thanks for logging on this edition of Black Video News. This is your best friend J. Cole with a very special edition of Black Video News, something for the community. Let me introduce our two visitors today. Ma'am, if you could, what's your name?
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Debbie Hamilton.
And yourself?
I'm Dr. Linda Howelton.
Okay, Dr. Hamilton, let's talk about our key topic today. So I understand that you have an event coming up in October. Let's give everyone an idea of what the general basis of the program is.
Okay, good. Thank you. So the San Antonio Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta is sponsoring, in collaboration with St. Philip's College, an event on Tuesday, October the 11th, in celebration of the United Nations International Day of the Girl Child.
Okay.
And we will be focusing on a documentary that was based on a book by Monique Morris. And the title of the book is Push Out: The Criminalization of Black Girls in Schools. And so this documentary focuses on how girls of color are sometimes subjected to extreme discipline. And so they are disciplined. The research shows us that they are disciplined, harshly, more harshly than their white counterparts. And so it's not just unique to black girls, but girls of color in general. Okay.
So, Dr. Howelton, in regards to the event on the October 11th, what demographic? Now, I know we do it here in San Antonio. We're opening up. I know we said girls of color. I'm guessing saying just not just black girls, but what's the demographic for like the entire event?
Well, for San Antonio, black girls represent probably 7% of the population. When we look at Hispanic girls, that's more like 60 to 70% in the public schools and charter schools. This is part of our overall program at San Antonio Alumnae Chapter School to Prison Pipeline. That's why we're looking at this documentary, because once you're out of school in suspension, your track is juvenile justice system in the prison.
Right. So, Dr. Hamilton, when y'all looked at it, I guess you probably looked at different documentaries. What made this one stand out to be the one as, I guess, your focal point?
Well, for two reasons. One, as Sora Howelton said, San Antonio chapter has a grant from our national Delta organization where we are looking at the school to prison pipeline overall. And so when we started to think about, how our program will take shape over the course of this sorority year, we are starting in October because it aligned very well with our international awareness initiative in the sorority. And Delta Sigma Theta at the national level is one of two black organizations that are NGO members of the United Nations. Right? And so the United Nations is celebrating this International Day of the Girl Child. So we thought, let's align this with an international focus. Let's also leverage that Monique Morris is a member of Delta Sigma Theta. And she produced this documentary in 2019. Right? And that was just on the heels, she released this and then the pandemic hit. And so although there were a numerous number of showings of this documentary, it did not get the airtime and the widespread publicity so that it could have a greater impact. So this is a red carpet event for Delta at the national level. So there was one showing of this Push Out documentary in San Antonio on PBS at 10 p.m. in 2019. So that's as much as our community has been exposed. So Sora Howelton is the chair of social action in which this work falls under, and so when I presented it to her, she said, let's roll.
So Dr. Howelton, with you being that dealing with social actions, when Dr. Hamilton brought this to you, what, I guess, was the brainstorming or the ideaing to put the event together with St. Philip's? How did you put it together to formulate it so that it all can come through St. Philip's, but also reach that of your targeted market as well?
The first part of our program is to inform the population, inform parents, educators, politicians, community activists. Before we can even look at the problem, we've got to inform our people of our neighborhoods. And so this was a great opportunity to do that. And on St. Philip's campus, which is the HBCU, that's more likely to get the attention that it needs.
Well,
and the alignment also, as Sora Howelton said, St. Philip's College is an HBU. It was founded by a Delta, Artemisia Bowden, and it was started as a sewing school for black girls.
Wow.
So there is no better alignment for this type of awareness than to go back to where it started for black girls in San Antonio, which is St. Philip's College.
Okay.
And so, as Howelton mentioned, this year-long campaign will focus on moving us from awareness, informing, from awareness to action.
There it is.
So let's inform of the problem, and then what action can we take to help to reach a solution.
Okay. So you know what? We're going to come back and talk about some actions that y'all are doing right now in the community with Dr. Hamilton and with Dr. Howelton. Stay long enough for more. We'll be right back.
2021 is complete. Good or bad, you made it through. The year of many firsts. It will not be easily forgotten. The Black Book Yearbook will help you capsule the year that was 2021. Own your part of history. Get your yearbook today at blacksinsanantonio.com. For the latest news and community activities, visit our companion site, blackvideonews.com, celebrating over 10 years of documenting the community.
Welcome back to BVN. It's your best friend, J. Cole. I'm here with Dr. Hamilton and Dr. Howelton, and we're talking about something very near and dear to our community, the event coming up on October 11th. Now, question for you, Dr. Hamilton. With this particular event, how does it hit home for you, or what makes this one of those, like, you know, how you have those feel-good moments? What makes it that for you?
So I'm passionate about this work as an educator. This is my 38th year in higher education. And I served as a conduct officer at the community college for over 15 years. And one of the things that was very important to me as a woman of color was to look for alternative methods of discipline, and not always calling the police on the campus to write the report and have them entered into the criminal justice system, but rather deal with it from a restorative justice perspective. And so oftentimes, instead of calling the police, we dealt with it in a manner of conduct on the campus. And so some of the discipline included, doing research on something, or community service, or service to the college, as opposed to giving them a JP citation and then entering them into the court. And I saw this repeatedly. I served in Alamo for 20 years, and when I looked at the data from the two campuses that utilized restorative justice versus those campuses that did not, then there was a stark difference. And so that's why, on a personal note, it is very important to me that we, and so my kids are older now. I don't have kids in K through 12 or even in college anymore, but I'm still a concerned citizen, and I care about these kids. And so as an informed citizen, I think I'm passionate about getting the word out there, and then also equipping us to know what we can do to make this better.
Got it. And Dr. Howelton, the same question to you.
Well, as a pediatrician and dealing with children with ADHD, behavior problems, conduct disorder, I get a lot of those referrals. And I saw a lot of teachers who were not prepared to deal with those children. I was amazed at their inability to understand how to redirect, how to give the child choices in advance. And so the zero tolerance at the school, where they're ready to discipline them. Automatic, without sitting down with a parent and having a plan for how to handle this child. Mentorship in the schools. Enough teachers in the schools with a student-to-teacher ratio needs to be appropriate. The school district has to be aware of the discipline problems and what policies need to change so that we don't have all these children, especially black girls, being funneled into the juvenile justice system.
Exactly.
So that's what's important.
Yeah, and I see that in education a lot these days, to where we're so quick to drop the hammer opposed to laying out the carpet. So let's talk about it. Why are you so angry, or why is this behavior? Because behavior, here's the thing. I understand that when we're dealing with children, there's this big mold of clay that God has blessed us with. So now we get to shape and mold that child, him or her, into what we want them to be. This day is so different, Dr. Hamilton, because we got social media, we got YouTube, iChats, UChats, all kinds of things going on, right? And these kids are being subjected to some of these cable television shows. I remember a time when you can watch an ABC or NBC show and there's no type of language.
That's right.
Yeah.
But at this day and age now, you have to, it's crazy, you got to censor your kids on watching some kind of Disney movies.
Not only are we censoring them on TV, but, in my generation, our generation, we got our influences, through music and through different things. So I often think about, I was talking to an educator last week. We sent this trailer out. We played it at our chapter meeting. We've been playing this trailer around in different meetings. And I had an educator reach back to me and say, just this week, I had an incident with a student, and after looking at this, I know that I could have handled it differently, right? So we have to understand that our kids are exposed to more now, and so they're still young minds, right? And they're trying to filter out what is real and what is not because of all the influences, and so we have to meet kids where they are. We have to model good behavior for them and show them alternatives, and so that's part of what our awareness, is. There's a local school district here that used to sanction kids for dress code violations. They would give them in-school suspension or send them home. Now, under this restorative justice model, they don't. They solicit T-shirt donations from the community, and when a kid comes to school inappropriately dressed, they give them a T-shirt and send them back to class, right? And over time, the kid is like, I might as well just wear my own because I'm not going to get to class, right?
Exactly.
So it's the little things like that that make a big difference.
Right. Now, Dr. Howelton, I know you deal as a pediatrician. I know that you have parents. They come into your office and you try to help them and address them. How do you communicate, or would you communicate to today's parent who's raising, like you said, those kindergarten? If a kindergarten comes in the class and he's then cussed out his teacher, okay, I don't know what nursery book teaches kids to curse like that. So they are representative of what they're seeing. Unfortunately, I'm not just saying it's in the home. But it's television, it's music, like you said. So how would you, or what kind of advice would you give these parents of today?
Well, the first thing is that the first time the teacher should not see you is when there's a problem. You should have been in the classroom in advance as a homeroom mom, going on field trips, your child seeing you in their classroom, and you seeing what their behavior looks like in the classroom. But there's so many distractions, but as a parent, you've got to limit the distractions.
There it is.
You've got to set the goal. You have an arrow in your quiver and you're throwing it, but you got to have a goal that you're aiming at, and you've got to establish for your child what that goal is, what your expectations are when they go to class and they're sitting and they're there to learn, and then find out what they did learn when they come home. And don't be so drop them off at the teacher. It's the teacher.
It's the teacher's fault.
The teaching starts at home.
What's wrong with your teacher? Why are you getting in trouble? Your teacher do it.
The parent is the first teacher a child ever meets.
There it is.
And they establish who's in control, how we're to behave. No means no. And then the teacher, you send the child to the teacher ready to learn.
Ready to learn. Now, speaking of ready to learn, when it comes October 10th, correct?
October 11th. Tuesday, October 11th.
Now, what can people expect on October 11th when they come to the event, Dr. Howelton?
A welcoming sorority. But we're going to tell them about that, about St. Philip's College, and also they're going to see a 79-minute documentary. The criminalization of black girls in school.
Now, will there be a talkback at the end?
Yes. So Joe Waters, Joe Waters, who is a sociologist by training and also a minister of care at Resurrection Baptist Church, will do a facilitated Q&A at the end. And then we'll get we have some resources that we want to share with the community.
That's amazing.
We anticipate that the audience will include faculty from St. Philip's, students, community members. And so we're saying anyone who has school-age children, if you are an educator, if you are an educational support staff, like a community liaison, or social worker, and even if you don't have school-age kids, but you are a community member, right, who cares about our community and the future of our children, then this event is for you. So we invite everyone to come Tuesday, October 11th, 9:30 to 11:30 at St. Philip's College, Watson Fine Arts Theater.
Now, is there a Facebook where they can get tickets, more information?
Yes, so they can visit the San Antonio Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Facebook page. There's an event there. Like and share, and then go to tickets to register for the event.
Okay, thank you so much, ladies. Dr. Howelton, Dr. Hamilton, amazing platform that you ladies about to put out to the community. Thank y'all so much for doing this, being in education. I know the struggle. I see the struggle. We see the struggle, and this tool that you're going to provide for the community is truly a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem. No. Thank you so much for logging on for today's edition of BlackVideoNews.com. If you like what you see, you know what you do. Like, share. Please take this link, share this link. This is valuable information that you need to be getting out to everyone. Please, 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 please. Do not wait. Do not delay. October 11th at St. Philip's College from
9:30 to 11:30.
9:30 to 11:30. It's Best Friend J. Cole with Dr. Hamilton and Dr. Howelton. See you next time on Black Video News. Take care.